All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to the Mr. Vane Reviews podcast. I am your host, Mr. Vane, and with me, once again, after a long sabbatical, I don't know what he was doing, probably working on your pottery.
Oh, by pottery you mean porn? I was, yeah.
It is James Marcello. Welcome back, James.
Hello.
The pottery extraordinaire.
That's me, man. I know my pottery very well.
Oh, boy. One might say you're a connoisseur of pottery.
Oh.
All right. All right, so let's just get started. Let's get off into it. It has been a while since we last did, and so some of this news may be a little outdated, but we want to talk about it because it is interesting news, and if you're a fan of the podcast but you're not big into the news world, this is your source. First time here, even though it's old.
Oh yeah.
Get caught up, people. No, but they're actually currently past halfway at this point, done filming the Marvel Civil War movie, Captain America Civil War. It's a Captain America film with about 100 other people in it. The cast list is huge. Just anyway, it's going to have Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man, Tony Stark. Scarlett Johansson will be Black Widow. Sebastian Stan comes back as Bucky Barnes / the Winter Soldier.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're going to have Sam Wilson / Falcon. He'll be there. The Vision is going to be there. Hawkeye will be there.
There's a lot of people here. This is Avengers 2.5.
Even more so, they've got Scarlet Witch, War Machine. Paul Rudd will come in as Ant-Man after his appearance here in a couple weeks in his own movie. Yeah, Paul Rudd's in there. They even have Martin Freeman. He plays Watson in the Sherlock BBC show. He is also Bilbo Baggins in the Hobbit trilogy.
Wow.
I don't think they've still officially announced his role, but everybody assumes it's going to be this lawyer / liaison between Wakanda and the other nations. Because as it's been described, Black Panther will also be in this film. He'll make his debut, and he is going to. What's probably going to happen is this whole thing from Avengers: Age of Ultron, where the vibranium is now resurfaced or whatever, or it's out there that Wakanda exists again or something. The Black Panther's probably going to think, hey, I need to get on this. I need to get ahead of this. I need to find out who these Avengers are and what all this vibranium stuff going on is. And so I assume that Martin Freeman will play the liaison between those nations. But
So hold on. They have Ant-Man, but you're telling me there's no Daredevil.
There is no Daredevil, but I'm going to continue to add to the list because I'm not done.
Oh, man.
It should go without saying that Steve Rogers, Captain America, will be there. They also have Daniel... I'm going to butcher it because it's got that 2.U, Daniel Bruhl. He was in Bourne Ultimatum and Glorious Bastards. He's going to be Baron Zemo. Yes.
Whoa. We
finally get Baron Zemo, another Hydra character. Even though in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show, Hydra's pretty much been dismantled. But they do mention Baron Zemo in that show. They only mention him by name, and that's it. They don't say anything else, and he's totally going to be in there. So that's going to be pretty sweet. Gosh, who else have I got here? Oh, William Hurt. He played General Thunderbolt Ross in the Edward Norton Hulk movie. He will be there as well.
As oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. That's just shocking. Wow.
Can you believe how many people they are going to have in this movie? Like, holy cow. Avengers 2.5. This is incredible. This movie is huge. But we were talking earlier that it has to be because it's the Civil War story. If it's not huge, it's not Civil War.
It's true. We need that hero-on-hero action.
But my question for you, James, with this news opinion thing, is do you think that's too many people? Have they... Because Avengers Age of Ultron, a good movie that it was not perfect by a long shot. And some people would say it was definitely bloated. Aside from the Marvel, Joss Whedon, our story is more important than your story conflict. Like, do you think that with the Civil War movie, they have way too many people or can they pull this off? Maybe they've learned their lesson.
I don't know. I don't think anyone has really learned their lesson when it comes to big castings like this. Because even though a good chunk of those people we've grown to know, that's just so many to share screen time. And this is Captain America's movie. Captain America is going to be the main protagonist. And I can guess that the antagonist is going to be Iron Man, so maybe he will get half the screen time as well. But these other people, I would love to see them, but when I see them, I want to see them actually do something. I don't want to see 5 seconds and then never cut to them again. Like, here they are, fun little cameo, okay, bye, sort of thing.
Well, then at the same time, they also have all of these villains, the Baron Zemo, Thunderbolt Ross, and I also forgot to mention Crossbones. Like, I've seen some pictures of him on set, and as everybody knows, because it happened forever ago, in the Civil War storyline, Crossbones is the guy who kills Captain America. He totally snipes him.
It's true, from a distance.
Yeah, and that's when Bucky Barnes shows up and says, it's time to kick some ass.
And become more.
Yeah, exactly, which is also a cool part. And a lot of people seem to assume is going to happen that the Winter Soldier / Bucky Barnes, or just, by his regular name, Sebastian Stan, is going to take up the mantle / shield of Captain America, and Chris Evans' contract goes up. But at the same time, and it's only been, talked about, there have been no official announcements, but some of the actors whose contracts are expiring soon, the two most notable that they talked about were Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth, were in talks to renegotiate their contract for potentially more films.
Well, no doubt Chris Hemsworth is going to renegotiate. He's going to come back. We're not Thor. There's no way we're losing Thor. Especially after, people like Thor. I doubt he's going to die in Ragnarok as well. Captain America...
Well, he's already cast for Infinity War, so...
Oh, well, there we go. See,
we know these people have to survive this. That's one of the other things that bugs me about Civil War, is so many people have been cast for Infinity War. Like, is anybody going to die in Civil War?
And I tend to stay away from IMDb. Fill me up on this. Chris Evans is also going to be in Infinity War, right?
I believe he is, yeah. We could totally check it out if we wanted to, but I think he is. But yeah, well, and here's something else I wanted to bring up, because there's some rumors as to the reason General Ross will be reappearing in this, because we haven't seen him since 2007, the Hulk.
Yeah, with Edward Norton. That's a long time ago.
Yeah, can you believe that the Marvel Cinematic Universe started almost 10 years ago?
Crazy. And they're bringing such a small part character back.
Yeah, well, are they? Because some people may know, General Ross later becomes and is also known as
Red Hulk.
The Red Hulk.
I don't think we're going to get a Red Hulk.
It's rumored that his reasons for coming back to this conflict are to become the Red Hulk.
But how does that even make any sense? We still have Hulk. We can't have two Hulks running around.
They've got a cartoon show with like 50 Hulks. It's actually like 5, but still.
But that's a cartoon show. This is a movie.
Yeah, but there's like the whole rainbow of Hulks going on right now. So I mean, it's just like,
don't get me started with that rainbow of Hulks. Gray, green, red, whatever. They all do the same thing.
Fair enough. Fair enough, but still, it's rumored that he could be. I'm kind of on the same page as you, where I think, I don't know. I don't know if I really want to have him in Civil War. I don't know.
I don't mind having him in Civil War, because in a way it makes sense. Military going against the government, going against the heroes. He first talked with Iron Man to recruit Hulk. I don't know if a lot of people remember that, even though in the Avengers he was nowhere to be seen to recruit Hulk because it was Black Widow. But I just don't want a Red Hulk running around. One's enough. Everyone loves the Hulk. We don't need to shoehorn this Red Hulk in. But even with that said, yes, we have all these people. Didn't you also say Spider-Man's going to be in this movie?
He is. We will talk about that in just a second, but yes, the new Spider-Man actor just got picked. His name is, gosh, you know what? I forgot. It's Tom Holland.
Oh, that's so many people. I don't know. I am overwhelmed, but I can say I'm not overwhelmed with confidence. I'm more overwhelmed with concern. That's a lot of people to stuff in one 2-hour movie. If it is 2 hours. It could be an hour and 30 minutes.
It's possible. But yeah, that's something else to talk about, is the new Spider-Man, but he definitely has to be in that movie too. And they just picked him as they're already more than halfway done filming, so.
And you know a good chunk of that time is going to be dedicated to Spider-Man. Not like 15 minutes worth, but we're definitely going to get 5 screen time introducing the new Spider-Man, because everybody loves Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I don't care what anybody says.
He's an enormous hero. Also, I mean, at the same time, Kevin Feige, president of Marvel Studios, said that like he's already been Spider-Man for a little while. He's already been swinging around New York on webs and whatnot, and so he's already Spider-Man in this movie. It's happened. There's no origin story. He's going to show up and be a part of this universe that's just going to shake the foundations. And they're actually doing a good job with the stories. From the synopsis I've read, the new Avengers that you saw at the end of Age of Ultron, with Captain America, Scarlet Witch, Black Widow, Vision, and War Machine, and Falcon, they're all going to be like kind of touring the world or whatever, doing Avengers stuff. And there's this whole cataclysmic event where there's a lot of collateral damage because of the Avengers. And so there's this outcry for a need to decide who should actually call in the Avengers instead of them deciding when they get involved, and like, you know, what qualifies for them to be called in. So that's kind of what started out. Obviously, Captain America, who lived during World War II, is thinking, no, last time they made people register it was crazy, it was bad. And, you know, Tony Stark will oppose that because reasons.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think it's going to be a good movie, so.
It is. It just might be a little
bloated
and worn down just by how many people are going to be in it.
I think a lot of people are going to get a lot less screen time than they thought they would.
Yeah, especially when you get those fan favorites. You know people are going to be angry at that. Like, why didn't my favorite character get the screen time they deserved? That's, oof. I'm there. Like, I understand the frustration. You want your hero to be represented. The people you like stand out. I get it. You know, you already know this because Daredevil's not going to be in it. I'm not happy about that. But
they're in talks. We'll talk about Daredevil in a minute. But they're in talks to try and get Daredevil and any of those other people, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, and other characters that will be introduced. Maybe they're talking about trying to get them into Infinity War. Which, I mean, if they can't get them in Civil War, Infinity War would be fine too.
Yeah. I don't even know how they're trying to get them. That should be like a go-to thing.
Well, I think we talked about it once before, but like TV contracts and movie contracts are a little different. And even though it is Marvel Studios, with the TV show there, I don't think they're doing all of it themselves, and so there might be some contractual issues. But I mean, if they get them in there, that would be awesome. Yeah, and you did mention that. It reminded me. But going back to giant red creatures like the Red Hulk, I was reading an article the other day about Ron Perlman saying that he wants to get some funding going so they can do a third Hellboy movie and conclude the trilogy. Well, of course he does, because he likes the character. And I do too. I would love this to happen. He is Hellboy. When you think of Hellboy, you think of Ron Perlman. Just like when you think of Wolverine now, you think of Hugh Jackman. It's true. It's just like that guy, like he epitomizes the character, and it's the same with Ron Perlman. So I mean, it was last year that like Guillermo del Toro did really well with Pacific Rim, and by really well I mean like it was a decent movie, and it did well, and it's getting a sequel. So he said, well, with that kind of news, all I can say is that the third installment for Hellboy is definitely not going to happen, because he's already working on a movie right now that'll be working on it. It's almost going to come out. It's got Tom Hiddleston and a couple others in it, and then he's going to be working on Pacific Rim 2, so it doesn't really have time for Hellboy 3. But I would totally be up for it. I don't know if I could totally like do a crowdfunding thing like they're doing with some other stuff, but like I want to see Hellboy 3.
I want to see it really bad too, because the first one was good. It came out of nowhere. It was good. The second one was even great, but I don't know. I don't think that's ever going to be a finished trilogy, sadly enough.
I'm sad about it too. Like I also don't think it stands a chance of being a thing. But I wish it was.
I wish it was too. But gotta take the good with the bad. At least we're getting a Pacific Rim 2.
Yeah, there you go. I mean,
I loved that first movie. I loved it. I don't care. Haters can hate. That movie was so good. Oh my gosh. No, sorry, go on. I'm gonna.
It's fine. I've talked to other people about it, and some people try to bring up like potholes or holes in almost every story. So I just tell them, you just deal with it. But talking about sequels, Daredevil season 2, which I don't know if you want to call it a sequel or whatever, but it's essentially the sequel season to the first season. Mm-hmm. They announced that they're going to be putting the Punisher inside of season 2, and I was actually excited about that. We might have even been talking about it a little while ago.
Oh yeah.
That we thought the Punisher was a character that if he didn't appear in the Spider-Man movie or something, he should appear in something like Daredevil, and now he is. They picked John Bernthal. He plays Shane on The Walking Dead. Yeah, everybody's seen him there, and I actually think that this is a good choice.
It's an amazing choice. First, he's got the build, he's got the attitude.
Yeah.
He definitely got all that.
He can totally play a vengeful psychopath who just likes killing bad guys.
Oh yeah. I flipped my lid when I heard that news, because I told Bree, I told everyone when I watched Daredevil, I'm like, okay, this is the perfect opportunity. They have no excuse not to put in Punisher, because you can't have Daredevil without Punisher, and you can't have Punisher without Daredevil. I don't care what anybody says to you. They could be a standalone character, sure, whatever, but that's like saying Batman and Robin aren't a thing. Now, I'm not saying Daredevil and Punisher are sidekicks, one's the little person, but there's just a duo that you just can't be without, right? These two people are two sides of the same coin in my, world. It only makes sense. And when they said that Punisher was going to be in this season, I didn't even care who it was, and then I found out who it was, and then I'm so happy. I can't tell how happy I am about this.
Yeah, it's an excellent choice, and I actually also think it's a good choice for the Daredevil season 2, because they could be guys that fight each other and even team up at some point. And there's not a lot of other details. They actually they just started filming season 2 in Harlem, and there have been a few pictures that have been sent out of Charlie Cox hanging out on set and being there with the actor who plays Foggy. And so, I mean, it's nothing extravagant because they're going to talk to each other.
Yeah.
But it's still really awesome. Season 2's pushing forward, and I cannot wait. Daredevil Season 1 was awesome. I just rewatched it a couple weeks ago again, and even found a few other, just cool little Easter eggs that I don't remember seeing the first time, so it's always worth watching again. And it was awesome. There was a whole thing about playing cards in there that I'm kind of wondering if they're not going to bring it out later. Because even when Matt Murdock was a kid, there were some playing cards inside of the first aid kit. Which, I mean, playing cards aren't part of a first aid kit, so obviously it's an Easter egg or something.
That's true.
They're just terrible at making first aid kits.
And I'm reading here that they actually started filming season 2 not too long ago.
Yeah, that's what I just said. They're in East Harlem filming it.
Oh, I missed that. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
I thought you meant like the
you're not even paying attention.
No, I'm so sorry. I'm just overly excited.
It is perfect.
Anything I get, I feel like I haven't read it already. But that's just me.
Perfectly all right. Well, I mean, there's a bunch of stuff going on with it, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. I mean, Comic-Con is right around the corner, so some of these rumors we've talked about and other things, they're most likely going to get actual reveals here pretty soon. Because I mean, it's Comic-Con. People love to, put their cards on the table, show their big guns. I'm sure there will be some more Batman v Superman stuff.
I'm just not excited for that.
But they've also said they're going to announce the Justice League lineup, which they've got the whole dang thing out there already. So, I mean, there's not much left.
Oh man,
but,
just Green Lantern.
Yeah, Green Lantern, which we talked about forever ago. That it's possible it could be Chris Pine, and I kind of feel like he'd be an okay choice. I wouldn't hate it, maybe. But they've also kind of rumored that he could play Steve Trevor in the Wonder Woman movie and be that love interest for Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman. And so I thought, he could also play a pretty good Steve Trevor. I mean, Steve Trevor he was not always the character he is now. He's actually became a huge character, joining up with Argus and actually being a bigger part of the DC universe. But then again, they've also just rebooted again, and I have not kept up with him. It's not like he has his own comics, but I mean, I have no idea what's happening to him. He was definitely there when the Justice League reformed again with the New 52, and if Chris Pine is actually Steve Trevor, that'd be fine as well. But it makes me wonder who they'd pick for Green Lantern. There have been a few other rumors as to who Green Lantern could be, because the Green Lantern solo movie, it doesn't come out till 2020, so we still got 5 freaking years before that comes out. And so you just kind of have to wonder, like, is it really going to happen? I mean, do they need to announce it so soon? But I mean, there was recently on Twitter, Tyrese Gibson. He's one of the actors in Fast and Furious. He posted on Twitter this fan picture, or whatever, fan created image of himself as Jon Stewart with like some Green Lantern garb on, and then Chris Pine as Hal Jordan. He posted that on Twitter, and it was something along the lines of like, somebody's predicting the future. And it actually got a lot of people talking, because I hadn't even thought of it being a good idea to have 2 Green Lanterns team up movie. I mean, there are at certain points in time we're up to 4 Green Lanterns, and now there are like from Earth that are Green Lanterns, and recently actually Guy Gardner is red and green, so they call him the Christmas Lantern. It's funny. It's in that Lost Army series they just started, and he's got both rings, and he shows up out of nowhere, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm the Christmas Lantern, mother." Or yippee-ki-yay-ho, or something. It's like, it's funny as heck, but... And then Kyle Rayner's still a White Lantern, so, But there's so many Green Lanterns, it would be awesome if they... I think it'd be awesome if they did a buddy cop movie, like a team-up where Tyrese Gibson and Chris Pine play Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan. And actually, a team-up movie I think would be awesome. And if they pick one or both of them to be in the Justice League movie... I'd probably just say one of them and go with, Tyrese Gibson as Jon Stewart, because he's the Justice League pig. So, like, let's get that guy. There have been the weird rumors where they're just like, they need to pick him because they need another black guy on the Justice League. Or they need a real one because apparently, Cyborg only being half human doesn't make him
black enough.
Full black. So... obviously, that's just stupid people on the internet talking.
Yeah.
But what do you think? Do you think he'd be a pretty decent choice? Tyrese Gibson or Chris Pine? And the buddy cop thing. In that order, go.
In that order. Tyrese, I like him. I really do. I think he's funny. I don't know if he's Jon Stewart material.
You don't think he's probably not an army guy, right? Like when you think of him, you don't think of like the military marine sniper that Jon Stewart is in the comics.
Oh, not even close. I mean, you've seen at least one of the Fast and Furious movies with him in it, right?
I have seen 6 of the 7. Actually, I don't even know if I've seen all of the 6th one. I've seen 5.5 of them.
That's how he is in life. I mean, granted, he's not that ludicrous, but he's crazy. he's very. It's pretty much how he is, I would imagine, in life. That's totally not a Jon Stewart thing. I don't even think he could try to pull off a Jon Stewart impression. Now, this is acting, and there have been other actors that come out of nowhere with surprising roles. If he does a great job, I'll be blown away. I'll be the first to say I was wrong. He's amazing. But that just doesn't seem like his style. I like his style. His just play the dumb, kind of smart, funny gag guy. Jon Stewart, Army military sniper. Oh, just no way, man. You can't. His voice is already what throws me off. It's deep. He's got this commanding voice. Here's Tyrese coming in. Moving on from that.
high pitch. Yeah. All right. What about Chris Pine?
I feel like they can do better. I really do, and I like Chris Pine. I have no problem with Chris Pine, but I feel like they can do better. I feel like Hal Jordan should be a little bit more mature. Chris Pine seems too young for me.
He's not that young.
He's not that young, but come on. Hal Jordan, Chris Pine, one of them looks like a teenager, and I can guarantee you Chris Pine is that person. Whereas...
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, what about the buddy cop thing?
That's a great idea.
Yeah, right? I thought that was a good one, too.
Idea. Oh,
if they had two really team up, you could do all sorts of different stuff, and then you don't have to worry about the whole, well, should the Green Lantern be black or white or Saudi Arabian American?
True, get it.
So, at that point, you kill two birds with one stone, and I honestly think you could satisfy a lot of people with that.
Good buddy cop movies.
Yeah,
we've seen it.
Who knew the Green Lantern had the potential to be a buddy cop movie? But maybe not. Who knows?
That's true.
At this point in time, they're all rumors. But like we said, Comic-Con is around the corner. They could announce anything. So once Comic-Con happens, we'll definitely podcast and probably talk about a lot of the stuff that's going to happen there. Some other real quick things that I noticed on the news agenda. Agent Carter will be filming here pretty soon. Agent Carter Season 2. So they did Season 1, and they only did like 8 or 9, I think they did 9 episodes, and it was really successful. And so they're doing another. But the guy who plays Howard Stark, Dominic Cooper, he just got cast as the lead in AMC's new show, Preacher. So I told you a little bit about Preacher, and how just crazy and sort of sacrilegious. Okay, it's not sort of. It is probably the definition of sacrilegious. But it's on AMC, so it's totally okay. They had Breaking Bad and The Walking Dead, and now Better Call Saul. All great shows. So definitely feel like AMC is a good home for Preacher. And, I mean, they've been successful with their first comic book show, The Walking Dead. You've probably heard of it. So maybe this one's a good fit, too.
No, I agree with it, especially when you told me what the comic book entails. I think AMC is the perfect place to handle that kind of mature
content. It is definitely mature content.
Yeah.
If you listen to this and you think maybe my children would like a movie about Preacher or a TV show, not. It will scare them, and it will scar them. But, I mean, hey, we went ahead and, checked that stuff out for you, so you don't have to. We saved you that time if you're scared of that stuff. And if you're interested in it, we got your back. We might talk about it later when it starts coming up, but right now there's not very much about it aside from Dominic Cooper getting cast in there. Characters we could talk about, but probably at another time. I don't think there's much else in terms of news about. I've been wrong before, but only once.
Only once, and when was that time?
You know what? I don't remember because I'm pretty sure I wasn't wrong. No, but I think that's it. So there's a couple other things we could talk about, but I feel like we're good. I think we need to go move on. Today we're going to talk about 2 movies that have already been out for a while. One for about not quite a month, probably like 2-3 weeks. Probably. Jurassic World's been out for about 3 weeks or so.
Yeah.
And Mad Max Fury Road has been out for well over a month. It's quite possibly not even in theaters anymore in some areas, in most areas, to be honest. But we haven't had a chance to talk about them because it has been so long since we last recorded. So we're going to talk about this stuff. It's going to be a lot quicker than previous episodes. We're not going to go over everything, but we're going to talk about as much as we can. So let's start off with the older movie, Mad Max Fury Road. James, I want to ask you, as soon as the credits started to roll, what was your initial reaction, like your initial feelings towards the movie?
When the credits started to roll, when the movie was starting up, I thought I was a movie that was going to try too hard to be like the original Road Warrior while trying to be something new to make it updated. And because we've seen these movies before, or way back in the 80s, they bring them up to a new look now, and they try so hard to please everybody that they forget what made them great, right? They forget their origins, their roots.
Yeah.
That was my original thought, because I even had a friend whom I worked with, who doesn't work with me anymore, who loves Mad Max, the original ones. And when he heard about this movie, he's like, oh man, this is going to be great. Hardy's in it. This is it. This is the return. I'm telling you. And it's, again, like I said, we've seen this happen before. They make it tries to please everybody, it fails miserably. That was my initial thought. And then when the movie ended, I was totally movie that came out of nowhere of expectations. Because I went in there saying, all right, it's going to be entertaining, but not like I'm going to remember it a month after. It's going to be entertaining for 2 hours and I'm going to forget about it. No. That movie was so memorable. That movie was crazy good. That was so much fun. I haven't had that much fun in a movie for a long time. And we saw The Avengers too. That was a good movie. Did I have much fun in it? Not really, because the first one was better. But this movie, I have never been so glued to my seat with just pure excitement of what crazy action they were going to do next.
You said crazy like 10 times.
Because it is crazy. You can't tell me that movie's not crazy.
No, that's kind of the point, right?
Yeah.
It's such an incredibly crazy film that you can't help but just think, oh my goodness, what was going through the writers' minds when they decided to do this? Holy cow. I went into that movie not really sure what to expect. I've enjoyed all three of the first Mad Max films. They brought back George Miller, or I guess he brought himself back. I don't know. He's the original director for all of them. He helped write the movies, and he did a great job with those first ones. I really enjoyed The Road Warrior as much as I did Mad Max or Beyond the Thunderdome, but they were all good movies. And when they said that, we're bringing back another one, I thought, oh man, I don't know if this is the time. I know we're in the age of reboots and revamps and all this other stuff, and I wasn't sure if they could pull this off. And I walked out of the theater like, oh my god, this movie was so outrageous. It went so far out there. I was grinning the entire movie.
Yeah, you just show so much respect for it because of what it did. With all its it's a lunatic. It's just, oh my gosh, it's one huge roller coaster ride from start to finish, because at the start there's like maybe 5 minutes silence, and that's just when Mad Max is standing talking to himself. And then after that, it's nothing but nonstop noise and action. Right. It never ceases.
All right, so some of our favorite parts I want to talk about. First and foremost, we have to talk probably easily one of the most entertaining characters in the entire movie, the guitar guy.
He is the star of that movie. He's the face.
He didn't have a face.
That's why.
It was so intense because you see so the movie gets going and Furiosa decides she's going to take off with this truck and everything, and so Immortan Joe gathers all these guys together and starts chasing after him, and you think, all right, a war party. That's what they're calling it, is a war party. The first thing you need in a war party, and I mean, in everybody's mind, you're probably thinking something about guns or boom or something. No. These guys got a giant rig, jumped up with like 7 giant drums and a rock and roll guitar with an attached flamethrower.
Because you can't have rock and roll without flames, man.
Well, without a good rock show or a fireworks show, I gotcha.
No, I'm just so impressed that they. Oh my gosh, he's amazing. I want his autograph.
Yeah, he definitely was one funny guy to see inside of that movie. The Tom Hardy was sort of the star. He definitely co-starred with Furiosa, but Tom Hardy plays the new Mad Max. He replaced Mel Gibson, crazy old Jew-hating Mel Gibson, and I thought he did a good job. Like by the end of that movie, I was actually impressed with his acting. You know, the whole 20 words. He's totally hallucinating. I think he did a good job. Did you like Tom Hardy in this, or did you think he could have done better?
Oh no, he was fantastic. Anything's better than Bane. Anything is better than Bane. But aside from my
so glad I didn't hear that voice. You merely adopted the wasteland. I was born in it.
His acting was just so. What's the word?
He plays a good crazy guy.
Like, he plays not only just a good crazy guy, he plays a crazy guy where you look at him, you know he's not well. Like, he can explode at any minute because he hardly ever talks. He has the fewest amount of dialogue in that entire movie. And it looks like he can just wreck your day at any point. He's definitely not well, and, we discover that, just like you said, through hallucinations. But that is my favorite role for him that he has ever done. And he's done and I liked him. I thought he was fantastic in Inception.
Oh yeah, see, in Inception he was a pretty good guy. I was like, oh, pardon me, loves, I got a giant grenade launcher here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did pretty good. What about Charlize Theron as Imperator Furiosa?
She was good.
Yeah.
I like Charlize Theron.
She kind of had to take a lot of the attention because she actually said words.
Yeah. The plot was based around her plan.
Essentially, yeah, and I mean, apparently she did a good enough job that she will be returning for the inevitable sequel, Mad Max Into the Wasteland.
That's awesome.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if they would be able to get another movie because I thought, you know what, 4's pretty good. George Miller, you did a good job. 4 is great. But now they're going to do another one because it made a ton of money. Oh, it's just called Mad Max The Wasteland. Words. But yeah, those two will return for another go round. Who knows what it'll be like? They only just announced it, but I'm sure George Miller or anyone else will help make it a good one because it needs to be. Some fun little facts. The guy who plays Immortan Joe, the creepy, chubby guy with the weird suits and the mask, yeah. He was actually in the first Mad Max film.
Really?
Yeah, the same actor, and it's possible he was the same character, but I couldn't find anything to totally confirm it. But yeah, he's Hugh Keys. I'm gonna butcher. I'm terrible with names. Hugh Keys Byrne. He was in the original Mad Max, and they got him to come back and be Immortan Joe, who was a creepy guy.
Yeah, he was. I definitely wanted him dead in the first scene.
Yeah. Well, and they got a bunch of other models to be the birth mothers or whatever. They had weird names like Splendid, Capable, and other stuff. The one brown girl, her name was Toast.
Her name was Toast?
That's what they called her in the movie, yeah.
I never picked that up.
They say these names like once, and they only say, I know they said Splendid and Capable, and the old lady at one point says, incapable. or something. Or was it? Or no, it was. I don't remember. But it was a good point. It was a good movie. The one who plays the one who talks a lot and she dies. Oops, spoiler alert. She's the one who's super prego. That's Jason Statham's partner. It's not his wife. They're just partners.
That is
not Jason Statham.
Okay.
I guess.
You know, you're right. I was about to say that's ridiculous, and then you said that. I'm like, no, that makes sense. That's Jason Statham. That's the transporter. Yep. He gets to go wherever he wants.
Well, he used to be the transporter, and I got some other bum.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
Oh my gosh, that was just the guy who plays the one war boy who hangs out with everybody.
I loved him.
Yeah, it's Nicholas Hoult. He's a Beast in X-Men First Class and Days of Future Past.
That's him?
That's Beast. Who's like, it's a glorious day to Valhalla.
That's him? Man, I really need to learn the actors who are in this movie. Like, I need to do studying for every movie now.
Yeah, he was an awesome guy. I liked how crazy he was in that show, and just, like, he's so hell-bent on getting to the gates of Valhalla, and he keeps failing repeatedly. So he joins up with, the Mad Max crew or whatever. He does a good job. I like him.
I thought he did a fantastic job. I loved him.
But yeah, this is definitely one of those movies where I will definitely be looking forward to the Blu-ray release so that I can buy it, watch it, enjoy.
Oh yeah, and it's definitely those types of movies you need to show everybody just to get their reaction.
Yeah, and it's not crazy inappropriate. So I mean, I am aware that it's Mad Max. It's one of those movies that may not be suitable for the younger audiences. I mean, it's rated R, but it's a good story, it's a good movie, and if you can and feel comfortable going to see it, go see it.
Agreed.
Oh man, it is such a good film, and it is one that will blow you away.
I'm just getting pumped. Pumped.
It's an adrenaline rush. If you're a guy, if you like cars or explosions or both, this movie's totally worth it. There's a lot of Mad Max Easter eggs scattered throughout the entire thing. We could go over every single one of them, but I don't think we will. Probably ought to move on. But just know that it does pay homage to the old movies, and if you're a Mad Max fan or any kind of fan of decent films, this will dazzle and blow you away. And that's all I'm going to say about that. So next I want to move over to the other movie we watched recently, although separately, but we watched it, was Jurassic World. Now, it has shattered box office records. It is now currently the third highest grossing film of all time, behind Titanic, and we're all thinking it, and Avatar. Not that terrible Last Airbender movie, the Blue People movie.
Ugh.
But it took 3 or 4 weeks for the Disney movie Inside Out to beat Jurassic Park in the box office. Like, it's the new Pixar movie that's just, you think that every single movie these guys pump out is going to be an instant hit, and it did really well. Inside Out did. And it took forever for it to beat Jurassic World because it did that well. Now, it's not a perfect movie by any stretch, but when I walked out of the theater, I was thoroughly satisfied. I enjoyed the movie almost entirely. What about you?
I was the same way. I went in with some expectations. I really did, because I made every point and forced myself to not watch any trailer. Because the first trailer they ever showed, they never, ever gave us a glimpse of what the Indominus Rex looked like.
Oh, yeah.
At all. So I'm like, okay, they're on a good track. They have me enticed. But just in case they do what all other trailers do, I'm going to make sure. This was the first movie that I made it a point not to see any other trailer, just in case it got ruined. So I had expectations.
You didn't want another.
I didn't want another. I saw it on TV. I'd be like, well, I got to change the channel now. I don't care what I was watching.
Don't want another Terminator Genesis on your hands. Huh?
No. But when I left that theater, I was really happy. I had a big smile on my face. That was a good movie. It has flaws. It's not perfect, but wow, I was blown away. It's not. That's why when you said it's number 3 on
Highest grossing ever.
Yeah, because it's not as good as Jurassic Park 1. Everybody knows this. Right. There's no disputing that.
Yeah, Jurassic Park 1 was its own kind of a thing, though. Like, you hadn't seen anything like it before, and I actually just watched it earlier today at work. and for like the 3rd time in a week. It's always on TV, and so I'm just like, hey, it's Jurassic Park. It would be a sin not to watch it.
Yep.
And it's a really, really good movie. And I mean, I can't help but laugh every time Samuel L. Jackson tries to talk with a cigarette in his mouth, but that was a really decent film. And you have to understand, everybody listening, I mean, James, you probably already know that inflation changes the way, like, you can understand that how a movie would do in sales. I'm pretty sure that Gone with the Wind is still, like, the highest grossing film of all time with inflation. And I've still never watched it, and probably never will, because that kind of stuff doesn't interest me. It doesn't have dinosaurs in it, that's for sure. So, who cares? Jurassic World has dinosaurs in it. The dinosaurs looked amazing.
Yeah.
Like, in every Jurassic Park film, they've been pretty decent. But in here, it's just, we're at a point in time in cinema where they can make this look real, and it was awesome. I mean, everything from the raptors to the baby dinosaur things that kids were playing with,
they were so adorable,
to the giant sea monster dinosaur, to the Indominus Rex. Everything looked great. And I mean, Bryce Dallas Howard, she did a pretty decent job, and she looked great too. And Chris Pratt, I thought he actually did a good job. I half expected him to, like, be the dumb guy that cracks jokes like he is in Parks and Rec and kind of like he is in Guardians, but he actually played like a level-headed, pretty smart guy who's actually kind of an action hero.
Yeah.
Like, it makes me want to see him in more films again. Well, maybe he will be. He definitely will. Chris Pratt is freaking Chris Pratt now. He has done so many great things with the movies he's been in. I expect to see him in a great many more.
Oh yeah, that Star-Lord role did him so many.
Oh yeah, and then he voiced the main character in the Lego movie.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he did 2 giant blockbuster films last year that gave him a ton of rep and popularity.
Oh yeah.
And now he's got more Guardians of the Galaxy stuff coming up. In Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Crappy Space Dads. That's not the official title, but that's apparently what it's about. And he's now probably going to be. Actually, they announced that the Jurassic World will probably be a trilogy. At the very least, it's going to definitely get a sequel, and Chris Pratt will be definitely there. Will definitely be there. So, I mean, he did an awesome job. I actually enjoyed him. I mean, he wasn't the greatest actor there, maybe, but man, he's doing a good job, and I would like to see more of him.
I agree. No, that was one of the. This may seem like a waste to some people, because I'm pretty sure there's other movies that are more deserving, but this is the first time I ever said this about any movie. That is the only movie I would like to, like, have my memory erased so I can watch it again anew.
It was that good, huh?
It was that good. Like, the surprises that they pulled out, the callbacks.
Oh yeah, they had a bunch of little Easter eggs in there too that were just homages to the first one. And there's not really anybody from the first 3 movies in this one. They really kind of brought out new people for it. And just like you, I walked out of there pleasantly surprised with a lot of stuff.
Did you see the picture of Jeff Goldblum?
Who didn't see the picture of Jeff Goldblum? The man sticks out.
I know. On paper, it's out.
I tried to explain to the people at work who Jeff Goldblum was in the first Jurassic Park movie. And I'm like, he's this guy with this button-up shirt, but it's not really buttoned up because he's Jeff Goldblum. And he's just like, check me out. I'm a really sexy guy. I really like to show off my chest hair. I'm Jeff Goldblum. I'm a sexy scientist kind of a guy. Hey, watch me drip some water on your wrist. Isn't that sexy? Fate isn't a real thing. It's all what you make it. It's not really predestined. I mean, aren't I sexy? Right? Yeah, check me out. Smart. Drops water. Speaking of the dropping water, they did that. They did that little Easter egg with when the military guys are hunting down the Indominus Rex at the very start. The blood drips down and runs two different ways, and I could tell I was in the theater with a bunch of idiots. I mean, I could already tell because of my experiences upon getting there. Dumb teenage kids don't know how to in the seat they paid for.
Ugh.
It's on your freaking ticket, man. You went to school, learn how to read. But the two drops happen, right? And I laugh. I'm like, ha ha, that's an Easter egg. And nobody else said anything. Nobody gasped or chuckled or like, oh, all of these kids, dumb. They have never seen the first one, or if they did, they didn't get it, or they don't know what Easter eggs are. Nonetheless, it only proves that I'm freaking awesome, or I have nothing else to do with my life but look for tiny things in movies.
We'll go with the former.
I say agree.
Oh my gosh. No, I understand where you're coming from. I was fortunate enough, and I didn't see it midnight. I saw it the Saturday, so I think the second day it was out. But I saw it with a group that knew what was going on. And even if they didn't understand the Easter egg for the blood drop, they at least gasped. Because that's a gasping moment when it's just, come on, it camouflaged and then it appears out of nowhere. Oh, it was good. My audience knew what was going on. They understood. They watched the previous films. It made it that much better. But I totally understand where you're coming from when you've watched it with a group that has no idea what they're watching. We're just watching it because midnight movie.
Yeah, right?
Let's do stuff, sort of thing. I get
We're
it.
people. We follow trends. It's trending on Twitter. I should go see it. Oh man! Oh gosh, Pragners there making fun of that stuff. But something I wanted to bring up that's probably just a tiny thing, but whatever. We're talking about how great Chris Pratt was. The actual original lead role for the movie was actually supposed to be Josh Brolin, aka Bandana Guy from the Goonies, aka gosh, you probably heard of him. He's this big purple guy. He's gonna be in Infinity Wars. What's his name? Oh, it's Thanos. That's right. They wanted Thanos instead of Star-Lord to run this movie.
Huh. Well, at least they got a Guardian, that's for sure. They still got someone within the Marvel Universe.
Yeah, I mean, not that that's important, but I saw that and I thought, oh, Josh Brolin probably would have been a decent character, but I'm glad they got Chris Pratt. I think he did a better job.
Yeah.
And so, holy crap, Jurassic World. People, go see that movie. It's still in theaters. Heck, I just looked and Mad Max is there. Go see that too. Do yourself a favor. Take a day off. Skip work. Skip school. Forget about homework. Forget about your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whatever it is you have now that everything's fair game. Go see these movies. They were freaking awesome. They've made a ton of money. They've been extremely popular. You'd be a fool not to go see them. Jurassic World if you're, feeling for the dinosaurs, and Mad Max if you're feeling a little crazy. Go see both. It's worth it.
No, you're right. And if you're going to do a marathon, there's only one way to watch it correctly, especially with Jurassic Park. 1, 2, and then Jurassic World. Don't even watch Jurassic Park 3. It's not even worth it. It's not even worth your time. Just don't do it. You'll be doing yourself a disservice.
So many people have told me, like, oh, don't go see this movie. It's terrible. Where I'm just like, guys, I can watch movies for fun. That's just what I do. That's my thing. It's kind of, I podcast about this stuff. I got a YouTube channel or whatever. It's like, no, don't ever see, Jurassic Park 3. Don't see the second one either, but...
The second one's great.
The second one's pretty decent. I gotta be honest. I gotta tell this story, even though it doesn't really have much of an ending. Jurassic Park 3 is the first Jurassic Park movie I ever saw, because as a teenager I wasn't really much into movies because my family wasn't, so it's part of the way it is. And the first date I ever went on, the girl asked me out because it was some girl's choice dance thing, and she wanted to watch Jurassic Park 3. Oh, man. I don't know. We made it probably 15 minutes into the movie before her mother came in and interrupted. And I still remember her saying, "Oh, you wouldn't like this movie anyway. It just has dinosaurs in it." I was like, what? Dinosaurs are one of the best things ever.
Wow, that's quite the mom that lady had. Ugh. But you know what? It's for the best. She saved you from a movie anyways.
I mean, I've watched it anyway since then, but still.
Yeah, but what do you think about that movie?
It was alright. I mean, they should have done a much better job. But I mean, they did the better job anyway with Jurassic World, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah. We'll just ignore that other movie. I'm sorry, I'm not a big fan about that movie.
It's alright. But anyways, we finally got through both those movies. They're incredible movies. You should definitely go see them. There's a couple things I want to just bring up that aren't totally related to these movies, but they're fun things to bring up. This week, and I'm not advertising for Barnes and Noble at all, but participating Barnes and Nobles, it's DC Comics Days.
Really?
Yeah, and it's go do it. I think it starts tomorrow.
And how long? You said it was for a week?
It's for a couple of days. I'm trying to find the information I had written down here, but it's just kind of like it's not showing up. But I know it starts tomorrow. It starts tomorrow, Tuesday. Which I'm going to try and get this podcast up tonight. Go if you're looking to get into comic books. They're gonna have some giveaways, they're gonna have some sales. This is a great time for you to go look for those comic books you've been trying to get into. I've got a few things I want to add to like kind of help complete my Green Lantern collection or my Suicide Squad collection. They've got other things like the pop figures, among other toys and stuff, on sale. It's a good time to go in if you're a DC Comics fan, or maybe you just want to get started in some stuff. With all these movies coming out, it's not a bad idea. You should definitely hit that up.
Wow. No, thank you for even mentioning it. I'm gonna go buy some. Boy.
Yeah, I save up money every now and again for this kind of stuff, so it's definitely worth your time if you're looking to get into this stuff, because we always try to keep up to date on the comic book stuff and the comic book scene. And I want to start, I mean, if I can get some backup on this, the people that might be interested, start another YouTube series or channel or set of video playlists, something or other, on me reviewing comic books and or video games and or TV shows. Because right now I'm just putting the podcast up on YouTube, and while it's working out really great, I want to do some other stuff with it, and you know, since maybe this could be more. I don't know. I gotta get to work on it, but here it is. If you've got stuff you want to say, put it in the comments below. Right now we're just putting the podcast on YouTube because SoundCloud is being a bunch of jerks, and I'm broke, so I can't do the RSS feeds right now because that's a subscription-based thing. But sure, the day come that I can, we'll be able to put this up, and you guys can download it on iTunes. But it's on YouTube. You can totally there are third-party apps that will allow you to download the audio. It's totally not legal if the material is copywritten. Throw that out there. But this is not. We totally endorse you getting it, taking it out, listening to it on the road while you're at your workout, while you're with your friends, hanging out, road tripping. Doesn't matter. Get this out there. Tell your friends about it. I am Kyle, a.k.a. Mr. Vane. You can find us on Facebook. We have the Mr. Vane Reviews Facebook page. There's a link to some other stuff there, including the YouTube channel. The website is currently down. I am working on getting that resolved, but I am not a genius, and I am also busy. So I'm trying to get that figured out. But you can also get a hold of me on Twitter. I am at VaneDemize, VainDemize. You can tweet me there if you would like to. I'm not huge into Twitter, but I have it there for just such occasions and whenever BlizzCon rolls around, which will be again this November in Anaheim, California. If you're going to be there, hit me up. Or don't. It's your choice. But go to BlizzCon. It's incredible. Blizzard does a good job with their games. Heroes of the Storm came out and I'm hooked on it. So, in the alpha and the beta, but now there are more people. So, it's more fun. But go ahead and get a hold of us on any of those. We really appreciate anybody listening. Please leave a comment below. Even if it's just you liking the page. Like the page. That'd be great too. Or the videos. Specifically the videos. / these, it's really just audio with a, image. But still, like it. Comment. Tell us what you think. Stuff you like. Stuff you hate. We would love to hear ideas that you would love to hear us talk about. It's James and I. We're hilarious. Maybe we'll bring back Kevin. Maybe we'll get Bryce. Maybe we'll even get one of our girlfriends or wives to come on. Who knows? If you've got something you want to hear or have talked about, let us know. It is how we move forward. Actually, no, it's not. So far, it's just been stuff we want to talk about. But if you're listening and you want to hear stuff talked about, maybe you've got some questions about the Spider-Man universe that you want to hear, we'll do the research. We'll do it for you, and we will talk about it so you can listen to it on your commute to wherever it is you work. We don't care. We're not, prejudiced against where you work. Unless it's, somewhere that sucks.
Pizza Hut.
Pizza. At one point or another, some of us have worked at Pizza Hut, and it's not been a great experience. They do not treat their employees well. It's not like they care. They're already rich. Corporations, yay, America's great. Let's not get started on the political stuff. It sucks. Guys, leave the comments below. It would be great to hear from you. We love our fans, whoever you are. You don't have to name yourself, but just know that we love and appreciate you for listening to us, giving us likes, and letting us be the people that bring you comic news, movie news, discussions, etc. Because we are the face of nerd culture. Just kidding. We're just two nerds. But, guys, go out there and listen to our stuff. Tell your friends about it. Get it out there. We would like to know more. And maybe we'll get some other people. There have been some talks about bringing some other YouTube personalities on and maybe getting the word spread around. And if you like what you see in here or there, let us know. But that's all I got to say. Is there anything else you want to add, James?
No, you said it all.
Of course I said it all. Come on, man. Of course I did. All right, well then I'm just going to say goodbye. And guys, we will see you next time. Probably for Terminator Genesis, likely for Ant-Man. Obviously, Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
So until then, see ya.